What if I told you that the most repeated prayer in the world isn't just a prayer? What if I revealed to you that every word of the Our Father was designed as a code, a sacred formula, a secret bridge between the human and the divine? Millions of people recite it daily. We teach it to our children. We whispered to her in moments of despair. We pronounce it as an act of faith, but few suspect what it really hides. No, the Our Father is not a prayer common. It is an ancient technology, a vibrational pattern, an alchemical ritual in the form of words. Every phrase, every pause hides a frequency, an intention, an energy. Imagine that every time you say that prayer, you are activating an ancient system of spiritual reconnection, a key that unlocks inner dimensions, a formula capable of transforming your mind, body, and energy field. In this video, we're going to decrypt that hidden code together. You will discover as the Our Father can shape your reality, cleanse your emotional field, alter your patterns, mental, and even harmonize your DNA. Because this prayer is not just heard, it is felt, it is vibrated, it is transformed. And at the end of this journey, you will have in your hands will give you more than just knowledge. You'll have a tool of power, a guide to awakening, a connection direct with infinity. Get ready. You will never recite the Our Father again. Same way. For centuries, this prayer, it has been repeated millions of times. It is prayed in temples, hospitals, funerals, schools, and wars. It is recited aloud, silently, in desperation, and also out of habit. But how many do you really understand? The Our Father was taught by Jesus not just as a prayer, but as a formula, a key, a spiritual map. Yet when he passed of the time, became into something automatic, empty, mechanical. The religious institutions told us that it was enough with repeat it, that with recite it already, we were doing our part. But no one explained why every word was sacred, nor what energy was activated when it was pronounced. Have you ever wondered why Jesus did not leave many prayers, but he insisted in, is this unique? It wasn't coincidence. This sentence contains a precise design, as if it were a carefully constructed energetic structure. Each phrase follows a spiritual sequence that begins with an invocation to the origin, Our Father who art in the heavens, and culminates in the total liberation. Deliver us of evil. It is a journey, an alchemical process in 7 steps. But what happened? The system replaced awakening by routine, the symbol by dogma, the intention by the repetition empty. And so, the most powerful prayer ever transmitted became in something almost invisible, a gem hidden in plain sight. The esoteric schools and ancient mystics, they knew that the words are not just sounds, they are vibrations that affect the matter and the conscience. And the Our Father contains a pattern, vibratory aligner, body, mind, and spirit with the higher frequencies of the universe. But this knowledge was suppressed, kept in hidden circles, encoded in symbols that few they knew how to interpret. It was not convenient for everyone to have access to its true power, because who understand this sentence? You no longer need intermediaries. Recite it with consciousness is to activate a field of personal transformation. It's returning to the center. It's remembering who you are. You are here today not by chance. There is something inside you that always it knew, that prayer is more than words. It is a key waiting to be turned. And right now, you're about to do it. The words, they have power, but not because whether it is said in an old book or a modern guru, but because the science it has demonstrated. Every word you speak generates a vibration, and every vibration affects the matter. You yourself are a body vibrating in millions of different frequencies. Now imagine this. What if I told you that when you recite the Our Father, you are not just speaking, but resonating with a frequency that transforms your environment, your inner water, your thoughts. In the year 2004, the Dr. Masaru Emoto shook the world with his experiments on the water. He discovered that when he spoke to the water with words of love, gratitude, or harmony, Their molecules formed structures beautiful, symmetrical, almost sacred. But when they were used, words of hate, fear, or violence, structures were broken, they became chaotic. And what are we humans, if not 70% water? Every word spoken, every intention projected, is rearranging our molecules. Now think in the power of a prayer like the Our Father, repeated with devotion, with pure intention. That prayer is a Western mantra, a sacred sound formula. In traditions, Eastern religions such as Buddhism or Hinduism, mantras are frequencies used to awaken higher states of consciousness. They are not recited for their literal meaning, but for their vibration. What if the Lord's Prayer worked the same way? Each phrase contains a cadence, a rhythm, a sound structure that was not built at random. It was designed to resonate inside you like a spiritual symphony. Even studies in neuroscience have shown that the repetition of certain sound patterns activates specific areas of the brain related to the calm, the intuition, and the connection transcendental. This isn't religion, it's physics, it's vibrational biology, it's consciousness, in motion. When you say, "Our Father who art in the heavens," you are sending a signal, and that sign does not stay in the air. It spreads, it connects, it manifests. The prayer becomes so into a subtle technology, a quantum instrument, a wave that aligns your energy system with invisible fields of order and coherence. That's why many wise men, the ancients, did not pray, they intoned. They sang the prayers, knowing that the sound penetrated beyond the rational. And here's the key: power is not only in the word, but in the intention that the accompanies. When you repeat the "Our Father" without a soul, is just an empty echo. But when you do with presence, with heart, with surrender, your vibration changes, your energy field rises, your reality begins to transform, because it's not magic, it's resonance. And now that you know, do you dare to listen to yourself differently? Sorry our offenses, as well as we forgive those who offend us. This is perhaps the most challenging phrase in the Lord's Prayer, not because of its moral meaning, but because of its energy implication. Mostly understands it as a plea. God forgive me, and I will try to forgive. But his structure goes much further. It is conditional. It is a mirror. It's a code. Jesus did not say, "Forgive us because we forgive," or "Forgive us after we forgive." He said, just like that, a correspondence direct, a law vibrational. What you emanate returns. What you release is released. What you hold back holds you back. From an energy perspective, the forgiveness is not a simple matter emotional decision. It is an act of vibrational cleansing. When you don't forgive, your energy field becomes blocked. You carry resentments like invisible weights. Your nervous system remains on high alert, and your body, your soul, tense up. But by forgiving, you literally alter your biology. Studies in psychology have shown that the sorry reduces the blood pressure, strengthens the immune system, and even increases the neuroplasticity of the brain. Now imagine that in the subtle plane. Every time you forgive, you are untying knots, invisible, that connect you to the pain. You are releasing stagnant energy. You are opening space for it new. The phrase, "Our Father," operates like an alchemical key. Cut the ties that bind you to the past. Clean the waste emotional. Recalibrate your inner frequency. It is not a simple "do he good." It is a quantum transmutation formula, and it is recursive. When you repeat it day after day, you are creating a habit of mind, an energetic pattern that trains you to let go and receive. That's why many traditions, spiritual practice forgiveness rituals as sacred acts, because they knew that without sorry, there is no ascension, there is no peace, there is no connection. So the question is no longer you who I must forgive, but what energy I want to continue holding in my field. And you, what do you choose today? Imagine a staircase that connects it visible with it invisible. a sequence of steps that lifts you from the densest part of your existence, even the most subtle part of your essence. That is the Our Father, a ladder prayer, a formula for inner ascension, encoded in simple but vibrationally powerful words. Each phrase represents a state, a step, a level of spiritual transformation. 1. Our Father who art in the heavens, recognition of the divine origin. Here you invoke your cosmic filiation. You are not separate. You are part of the whole. This is the starting point. Remember who you are. 2. Hallowed be thy name. Vibration of the sacred respect. The name is a symbol of frequency, of vibrational identity. By sanctifying it, you enter into coherence with that original frequency. Kingdom Come is manifestation of the higher order. This is not a physical realm, but a heightened state of consciousness. You ask, bring that internal order to the visible world. 4. Thy will be done. So in the land as in his sky, total alignment. This is the point of conscious surrender. The ego dissolves so that the greater purpose can manifest. 5. Give us today our daily bread. Connection with the abundance of the present. It's not just physical nourishment, it's energy, clarity, spiritual sustenance. Here you recognize the universal provision in He, here and now. 6. Forgive our offenses, as well as we forgive. Vibrational transmutation. As we already explored, this is the code of energetic cleansing, the key to continue ascending. 7. Don't leave us fall in the temptation and deliver us from evil. Protection from the countryside. Here you ask, keep your energy intact, without interferences. It is the closing protective of the spiritual circuit. This sequence is not arbitrary. It is alchemical. Each sentence prepares the awareness for the next. Each step transforms a part of the being, mind, emotion, intention, vibration. In the mystery schools' ancient times, it was taught that the true alchemy was not converting lead into gold, but transform the lower self in a divine self. And that is precisely what this prayer does. When recited with full awareness, it becomes into a tool of transmutation, a journey back to the origin, a climb from the matter up to the spirit. The Our Father is not just a supplication, it is a hidden ladder to yourself that have in common an Egyptian temple, a Tibetan mantra, and the Lord's Prayer, more than you can imagine. In all ancestral cultures, the language was not just a means of communicating, it was a tool for creating, a technology. The ancients, they knew that sound is vibration, and that vibration is form. From there is born the sacred geometry, the study of how the sound and the intention give shape to the matter and spirit. Today, thanks to the cymatics, we can see how the sound frequencies organize physical particles into geometric patterns. When a harmonic sound resonates on a surface with particles, mandalas, stars, spirals are formed. When the sound is chaotic, the patterns become disordered. And now imagine this. Each phrase of the Our Father, recited with deep intention, generates a unique energy pattern, a geometric figure that is projected in your vibrational field. This isn't just mystical poetry, it's spiritual science. Every word is a symbol. Every symbol has a form, and each form affects your inner state. The Essenes, the Kabbalists, and the wise men of Alexandria, they spoke of this as the language of the creation. And they said that the universe was created through the word, and that the prayer's true stories were not just said, they were activated. Because when you unite language, intention, and sound, you are using the oldest spiritual technology of the world, and the Our Father was built under that principle. Observe his structure, main phrases, the number of the creation, the chakras, the days of the week. Each line starts with an active verb, sanctified. Come, be done, give us, forgive us, do not leave us, deliver us. Action, movement, direction. This is no coincidence. It is sacred architecture in the form of prayer. Even the pauses between lines have his function. They are silences loaded with intention, spaces where the vibration settles and expands. When reciting this prayer with consciousness, you become an emitter of forms, an invisible sculptor, a generator of living symbols, and it is no coincidence that each sentence can link to a universal archetype: the Father, the Creator, the Kingdom, the Ruler, forgiveness, the Healer, the Temptation, the Warrior, the Bread, the Supplier, the Name, the Mystic, the Liberation, the Redeemer. It is a symphony of symbols, a map of the soul encoded in words. Today, the science begins to rediscover what the ancient already they knew, that a word spoken with pure intention can move mountains or transform a life. And if that is true, what could you transform yourself by activating this technology every day? Imagine millions of people in different corners of the world pronouncing the same words. Sometimes in a low voice, sometimes with tears, others with hope, but always with the same intention: to connect with the divine. That is the Our Father, a shared prayer, a spiritual echo that passes through generations, cultures, and borders, a global resonance. The theory of the morphogenetic field, developed by Rupert Sheldrake, proposes that when a sufficient number of beings repeat an action or thought, it is created an invisible field that makes it easier for others do its same. As a non-local information network, a living collective memory. And now ask yourself, what happens when millions they recite daily the same vibrational sequence for centuries? A field is formed, an energetic structure with shape, direction, and purpose, a kind of ancient spiritual internet, connecting everyone who touches it. Activate. Every time you say the Our Father with intention, you are tuning into that field. You are not alone. You are networked. You are connected to thousands who vibrate with you, even without know it. This phenomenon is not new. Indigenous cultures already, they spoke of the great fabric of life. The Sufis, they call it Zika, the memory collective of the divine. The Hindus, they use mantras to create resonance fields, community. The Lord's Prayer works the same way. It's a technology of collective spiritual coherence. That's why many people report feeling peace, relief, or clarity after reciting it. Because they are not only activating his internal energy, they are receiving strength of a network invisible. And that network is real. It's like a planetary spiritual heart that beats with the same words. Our Father, who art in the heavens. These phrases, repeated with presence, create bridges invisible between souls. They bind you with those who came before, and with those who still they will come. In a fragmented world, the Our Father continues being a symbol of vibrational unity. No matter your religion, your language, your culture, that prayer, it contains something older than any dogma, the sacred memory of our connection. And now that you know this, do you dare to be a conscious part of that? Grid, take a break, breathe, think. In everything you just heard, the hidden vibration, the geometry in the words, forgiveness as an energy key, the network invisible that unites you with thousands of souls. And now ask yourself with honesty, what if all this out true? That what if the Lord's Prayer were really a spiritual technology, designed not to be memorized, but lived? What if every time you repeat with intention, are you reconfiguring your mental field, your emotions, your body, your reality? What if within that prayer hides a forgotten call, not to ask, but to wake up, waking up from the routine, waking up from the noise, waking up from forgetting who you are? Because already, it's not just about reciting words beautiful. It's about embodying a frequency, of becoming in the verb. Jesus did not teach this prayer as a magic formula to obtain things. He taught it as a vibrational path, a daily ritual of reconnection, a practice to remember the sky, inside you. And if when reciting it with full attention, with an open soul, something really activates in you, then you will no longer be simply praying. You will be creating. You will be elevating. You will be entering in resonance with the sacred. That's the one true spiritual alchemy. When the word becomes flesh, when the sound becomes in transformation, when the intention molds your destiny. So, today, I make you a proposal. Don't pray the Our Father as before. Do it as a conscious ritual, as a meditation, active, as an act of vibrational creation. Do it for 7 days, once a day, in complete inner silence, feeling every word, living every sentence, and observe, listen, feel. Maybe you don't see fires artificial, but maybe deep inside you, something is beginning to come together, to heal, to awaken, because the most powerful truth always was the simplest, and it was in front of you from the principle. Today, you discovered something that was always in front of you, something so deep that it seemed invisible. The Our Father is not just a prayer, it's a code, a spiritual technology, a bridge between chaos and harmony, between oblivion and the memory of the soul. Every word has a purpose, each phrase a vibration, each conscious repetition an act of transformation. Don't need to be a theologian. You don't need belong to none religion. You just need presence, intention, inner listening. Now you know that when you pronounce that prayer with a heart open, you are activating a network invisible of ancestral wisdom. You are aligning your being with sacred geometries. You are remembering who you are. And that's why today I invite you to do something different. Recite the Our Father like never before. Do it in silence, with the eyes closed, breathing deeply. Feel His energy, feel His frequency. Let the words run through you, not as sounds, but as keys that open inner dimensions. And then He comes back here. Write in the comments, the I felt, I woke up, or tell us your experience. What changed in you? If this message touched your soul, share it with someone who also need to remember. Subscribe to the channel for more content that connects you with what really matters. Like if this video revealed something new to you, because maybe this wasn't just a video, it was a call, and you heard.